it's the Clover Down Witch. Welcome back. My next episode is going to be consecrating some magical tools and your magical weapons. So first off, you can do this anytime you are doing a ritual, because obviously you'll have your circle cast, so it'll be all set up. But if you want to do it and you're not doing a ritual, you can do it at any time if you want to sort of need your tools to start some more crafting. So you just cast your circle as in the last video, and then you can actually consecrate your tools. The first, well, some of the ones that you want to cover are the ones that represent the elements and the spirit. So you'd need your staff or your stang, which will represent the fire, your knife or your theme. I'm going to do a bowline knife in the video, so just to demonstrate. The cauldron, which represents water, your pentacle that will represent the earth, and the cord, which will represent your spirit. So all these different elements, they actually do symbolize human life. So the fire is your life energy, your water is the emotions, the air is anything of the mind, and earth is your actually physical body. So basically, so your knife will represent the represents air, which is of the mind. So when you do your casting of the circle with your knife, it's all starting in the mind, where all magic starts in the mind. Basically, why we do have a knife just like a normal kitchen knife is because when they were looking for witches back in the olden days, they would have been looking for anything that screamed, oh, you're a witch. So that's why you just have that, because originally it would have been a sword, but who would have been able to afford swords? And then they'd have probably had their staff, but they would have probably turned it into a broomstick, because a lot of staffs would have been carved into a phallic symbol, and especially if they were doing fertility rites or anything, they would have used that. So what they'd do, they'd just put some twigs around that to hide it, and then it just looks like a normal broomstick. So always have a look in someone's broomstick if you suspect them to be a witch. You might have a little surprise what you find. And the cauldron would have been just a normal cooking pot. Pentacle could have been drawn on a stone, and they could have buried it in the garden, just chucked it in the garden, get rid of it. They could have burnt it on a piece of wood, marked it on wood or wax, and they could have just chucked it in the fire to get rid of it. The cord would have been maybe just a piece of twine, or just a garter, or something like that. So everything was like in secret. But thankfully we don't have to worry about anything like that today. So so we're going to go out in the garden now, and I'm going to show you how to consecrate. I'll be using a bowline knife, but you use whatever you need to get consecrated. Right, today we are going to consecrate some tools. So I've got my bowline to consecrate. You should have your circles set up as before in the last video. But yeah, take the first tool that you want to consecrate, and you want to hold it up with both hands to your altar and say, I take and consecrate this bowline knife in the name of the old ones and to the arts of magic. And then you want to sprinkle water from the cauldron onto your tool that you want consecrating, and say, I purify you with water. And then take it into your smoke and say, I purify you with fire. And then if you read your prayer of consecration from your Book of Shadows, I conjure you, O form of this instrument, by the powers of life that have created the heavens, the earth and the sea, and all things which they contain, by the virtues of the heavens and of all the stars which rule therein, by the virtues of stones and herbs, by the virtues of the four elements, and in the like manner by the virtues of the four winds of air. Herein to receive such consecration that we may obtain by you the perfect issue of our will. I conjure you to a strength and defence against all enemies, visible and invisible, in every work of magic, so may it be. And basically that is your item consecrated. Just at the end, just breathe your life into it, and then just put your will into it, so you know you're telling it what you want it to do. And basically whatever you've actually done, like with the knife, just use it. You could use it, I don't know, to cut cord, or you could use it to cast your circle or whatever. Just use it so it knows what it's doing. If this isn't convenient, you can always go to each quarter and hold it up to each quarter, but basically that's it. So you just carry on and do as many tools as you need to do.